Hey everyone. We are going to get started. I just wanted to note once again for all the folks that just came in, um, we will be going over a few things for funding and some resources. If you take a look at the chat, we have some contact information there and also some links to some resources in case you are looking for different types of funding or things that may help. So if you look in the chat, everything is there. If you would like to send any messages or send your email out for more information, anything that you send in the chat goes directly to me. So it is not shared with the group, so your contact info is safe. And we'll go ahead and get started. So, welcome everyone that's here. We are here to find out how to find business funding. And I am Stacy Wells with Mark Rentals LLC, here to be your host today. So, first, for anyone that hasn't heard of Mark Rentals LLC, we are not your average brokerage. We are a real estate investment company, and we evolved around a few things. And we can be considered like a community support system in real estate. We provide services for various populations. So, if you're an investor, we have some things that may uh, interest you there. Or if you're a homeowner, we have some resources. You may be a tenant. Um, when it comes to housing, we have outlets for business owners, entrepreneurs, anyone looking to grow their opportunities and careers in real estate. We also have employment opportunities as well. Just a little background, some of the programs that we offer in case anything might catch your eye or your ear. We have something called the Pandemic Hardship Program. Now that the pandemic is over, some folks are still kind of rustle out of the hole from that. So, that's something that we don't want to steer away from in case those are, it's a lot of people that are still struggling with their home ownership and mortgages and things like that. So we assist homeowners who may be struggling with their mortgage payments and need options. So that's a program that we offer. We also have specials for essentials program. So anyone that did work through the pandemic, if you were an essential worker, we assist with identifying more affordable rent options for essential workers that have worked through the pandemic. Um, and for any of the tenants out there that are looking to become a homeowner, we have Renters to Owners program, helping tenants become homeowners by allowing them to rent their property while preparing to buy it. So that's a good option for some folks that are looking. And also for the investors out there who are looking to start on their new project or find a way to create an income there. We have our marked rentals investment pool as well for capital holders seeking to inject their funds into a company's program, any of the company or the programs that we have for functioning in return for profit generation. So if you would like some information on that, please let us know. So, getting into the funding piece, a lot of folks do not really know the difference between the personal versus business funding. Like, what is the difference? So, what we have here is a kind of a quick breakdown. One side we have what is needed for personal and what is needed for business funding. So, for personal, obviously you'd be using your personal social security number. But on the business side, you would be using your business EIN number. So that would be the difference. So that's a completely different tax ID that you would use and a different whole credit bureau list of things that you would have to worry about. So that's the difference there. On the personal side, usually standard, they would be looking for about 3 months bank statements. On the business side, if you were looking for funding through your business, They are usually looking for at least 2 months business bank statements. And the reason why they would be looking for that is because they want to see actual deposits and that there's actual revenue coming in. So that would be the difference there. On the personal side, when it comes to the bank statements, they're looking to see if you have any money there to repay that. So there's a kind of similarity there. On the personal side, to verify, they would be looking for W-2 pay stubs, usually within the 2 months range, showing that you have money to repay whatever funding or loan that you might get. They want to make sure that you can actually pay that back. On the business side, you may qualify if the business is been operating less than a year. The longer that you've been in business, the better. Depending on the outlets that you go to, they may need you to be in business for at least a year. If you are able to qualify in a certain program that allows you to do less than a year, they could weigh that out with different interest rates or maybe like a higher interest rate or a certain amount that they'll allow to give you. And usually that would be on a case by case basis. Um, so that's something that it's still possible. Usually for brand new businesses, they would like to see some type of revenue first because that would give them some security that you can also pay the loan back. And so that's pretty much what that is for. On the personal side, you must be employed with the same company for at least 2 years. So I'm not sure if anyone out there has tried to go for a loan and one of the requirements is, or even a mortgage, they want to see that you've been with the same company for 2 years. How do folks get around that knowing that a pandemic uh, just passed? That is a tough part for folks because a lot of people have lost their jobs or they couldn't keep a job, they got laid off. To have that still as a requirement hurts a lot of people. And not being able to get a loan, that also would affect your credit score because if you're not able to get the funds that you need to pay things off, now you're missing payments and the credit score is dropping like crazy, and now it's just a big loophole. On the business side, there are many programs that favor startup companies with minimal to no revenue. Um, and those, you really, really have to dig for those because that's exactly what everyone is looking for. So if they just was able to hand out all kinds of money for everyone that just started a business, a lot of people would just be starting businesses just to say they have one, just to get money. And that is a big risk to the institutions that are lending out. So that's why that they try to put some type of a strain on who they're able to lend to. On the personal side, you must meet monthly income requirements. Um, and the way they do that is it may be a percentage of what you have to pay every month. It may be you have to make 3 times as much as what they're loaning you or whatever the case is. But usually there's some type of monthly requirement that is required depending on what institution that you go to in order to approve for the loan. And a lot of the times, depending on what you want to use that personal funding for, they make it even harder. For instance, if you want to try to get a personal loan because you want to just go on a vacation or do something that isn't too productive, they're going to feel like you're just going to blow that money and you're not going to be able to pay that back. So they might feel like, well, if you don't have the money already to take yourself on your own vacation, you probably aren't going to be able to pay us back with that. We're going to have to give you a higher interest rate just to secure we get some type of money coming back in. So unfortunately, on the back end, when it comes to the underwriters, those are some of the things that they kind of look for. On the business side, personal info is not always used. So if you have an EIN number and you have a whole setup and you actually have a credit history for your business, you don't have to use your personal info. But if you have nothing to show for your business and all you have is an EIN number and nothing else, no revenue, no paper trail, they may require what would be called a personal guarantee. If anyone's heard about what that is out there, personal guarantee is basically saying if your business is not able to pay us back, you will personally be responsible. So it's almost like you're taking a personal loan because you're using your personal information still. So that's kind of a intertwining piece there. On the personal side, most creditors require a 680 and up FICO score to get any type of loan, credit cards and things like that. And a lot of people do not have that. On the personal side, it's much harder. The requirements are much higher as opposed to a business. They're already expecting you to want to be a millionaire, so to speak. So they're expecting you to figure out some type of business that is supposed to be earning money. So that means it should be a constant income that you have, which makes the risk less for them because they know that you're going to have money coming in to repay that loan. So their FICO scores are a bit lower because they have more of that leniency because of that expectancy. So they can go as low as 620 FICO score needed in some special cases. Anywhere in between there, but that's usually around some of the lowest scores that we've seen so far. So they are much lower than the personal. Did anyone have any questions there so far? Okay. So what Market Rentals LLC offers is just a group for people that are needing financial assistance and guidance and things like that. It's just a group of members that need resources for different type of personal funding, business funding, things for investors, all kinds of resources where we come together and bounce things off of each other. So it's an educational network with the purpose of helping turn brand new investors into well-seasoned investors for those that are into investing. Also assisting experienced investors with finding additional projects and opportunities to invest in their capital. So if you are an investor and you're looking for somewhere to invest your capital in, this is definitely something we can look at. It pretty much just consists of guest speakers and events. We have trainings for things that you may be interested in, networking meetings, webinars such as this. We also have one-on-one deal consultations. So if you're working on in real estate, we have that available. Funding access. Yep. Coming up.
Actually, yeah, I'll hello.
Does someone have a question? Okay, sorry. For anyone that's in the wholesaling and other different types of tools, it's free to join. It's not any like monthly subscription or anything. It's just pretty much a member access support system that we have here. So if you're looking for different types of things, that's what we have. And there are no requirements to enroll in the VIP investing resourcing access either. So no requirements at all. So if you want to learn or you need assistance, you need some guidance, definitely join us with that. So another different types of piece. So the wholesaling, we help with discounted property search. If anyone are looking for end buyers for any deals that they may have, we have that available. Having trouble finding sellers, if you need any type of funding, and funding for transactions with any of your deals. We have outsourced transactional funding for anybody that does double closings or anything like that for like wholesaling in real estate. Allow investors to get access to funding for the double closings and contract assignments. If anyone has a lot of experience with some things in real estate or funding or investing, we have a coach connection. So, if you would want to volunteer at one of our events or meetings or things like that, you can definitely join us that way. We also have Bureau Builder trade lines. So, those that are looking for funding and are constantly being denied because of your credit score or something's going on with your credit, we have something called Bureau Builder Trade Lines, and it's pretty much an aid for those that do not qualify for funding and obtaining assets due to their credit issues. And we'll get into more of that in just a second. We also have lending and funding outlets. So that's a referral service that we have for those who are interested in different types and uses for private money, hard money, personal loans, business funding, lines of credit. So if anything like that interests you, we have the information posted in the chat as well. We have all the links there in case any of you are interested in that. We have those right in the chat. So the lending and funding outlet. So what it's for is to help people obtain personal, business, and private funding for whatever it is that you need that for. Um, who's able to use that? Well, it's available to anyone that qualifies depending on the guidelines. So depending on what type of funding that you're looking for, there's different guidelines for that. Depending on how much or if it's for a specific project or anything like that. So it's definitely a case by case basis, and we trying to help you work through that. How it works, you complete a short funding request. They are listed in the chat as well, and we'll take a look at that in a second. They're really short. They're just, telling us what you need, and then we can move forward from there. It's no credit or background check needed, no social security numbers needed, nothing like that. It's pretty much what's your name, how much you need, pretty short, just like that. And then we can roll on with the process. You'll be contacted directly regarding a lender for your individual needs. So we make that connection for you. The results to expect. Usually you should get a response within 1 to 2 business days. If we have an option for you for whatever lending and funding that you need or request, you will be matched with the lender. So what would happen is you fill out that quick form, letting us know what is the funding amount that you need. And we see pretty much, depending on your particular case, who would be the most likely to be able to award you that funding. And then we connect you directly with them, and then you guys pretty much go through that process to get you funded. If there are any obstacles, we have options that may help you get approved, and we could take you through that process as well. So if there's still some difficulty there, we just don't leave it at that. If there's something that we can help, so we just take a look at that. If you're not approved, we have options to help you boost your credit score, which I mentioned before, the builder trade lines, and we can revisit your approval odds once that goes through, if that's something that you're interested in. So from our research, the reason why we say the Bureau Builder trade lines have been helpful, because there are 48 million Americans who have deemed to have poor credit right now, between the 300 and 579. So there's lots of folks out here that can't qualify for any funding because of those credit scores. And I can tell you, a lot of folks that come to us, I would say 90 to 93% have trouble getting the funding because of those numbers, because of those credit scores. So we're perfectly aware of that. And this is why we have the Journey Financing outlet in place with these different programs to kind of help people through that, because there's a whole bunch of people that need money and they can't get it. So then what happens? It's just a bunch of people just left with no options. We want to see if we can get options. About 1.2% have a perfect 850 credit score. That's not many people. Most of the U.S., including that 1.2%, have suffered hits to their credit report due to the pandemic, especially. So we understand that that's been an issue too, and that has hit a lot of people. And according to Experian, 59% of Americans have under a 700, which is a lot. And that's a lot because that also can include how much you are awarded too with a loan. So depending on what your credit score is, you can only get so much as well. And millions of people are purchasing trade lines right now from these companies. So because of the supply and demand, these agencies are able to charge top dollar for these credit score increases. But we like to make them look much more affordable than what is being offered. So the Bureau of
Can
Trade,
you mute him?
yes. Let's see. I'm going to
I have a question after too, please.
Yep. Okay. Give me 1 second here. Okay. Can everyone hear better now? Okay, great. Did you want to go ahead with your question?
Yes. So where are you located?
So our office is actually headquartered in Massachusetts, but we
okay.
serve all over the nation, so all of the US.
Oh, okay. I'm up in New Hampshire, so I was just wondering, you were saying we can you have a networking group that we can join?
Yep. It's called Journey Financing. And I'm not sure if you can see the chat right now, but I have all the links there for all of the programs that I just went over. They're just quick forms. So if you're interested or, if any of those pertain to you, you can just go ahead and fill those out. They'll come directly to us and we can give you more information and get started on whatever it is that you need. And we can go over that as well.
Okay. I don't see anything in the chat.
Okay.
I just see me talking to you.
Okay. So that when we're go ahead and done with the slides, we'll go and take a look at the chat and make sure that you guys can see it so no one misses.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Did anyone else have any questions so far? Nope. Okay. So Bureau Builder Trade Line. What it's for is help customers earn a credit boost for your emergency credit needs. So what it does, you can pretty much boost your credit score. It's not like a credit repair program or anything like that. This is definitely not that at all. This is specifically for the numbers. So the trade lines will boost your number so that you can actually qualify for whatever it is that you're trying to get approved for at the time. And it's a short period of time, 30, 60, 90 days, whatever it is that you need to get that improved. And as far as who can use it, it's available to everyone, no matter what status, credit score, or purpose that you have. So there's no minimal credit score to be approved to use this at all. You can have a 300 if you want. That would be the purpose of using it because people for low credit scores, we want to get you to a higher one. How it works is the trade lines are placed on your credit bureaus for a designated period of time, usually between 30 and 90 days or whatever it is that you may need. And at the beginning of the billing cycle of the trade line, that's when it gets posted on your credit bureau. What happens when you use it is that your credit score may increase during that designated time that you use it for. Results may be minor, major, or gradual increases depending on your individual credit status. So depending on what you have going on your credit reports, it'll be a big jump or it'll be a quick jump or a gradual one. Everyone's case is different. So you can weigh your options on if that would be something that you would need, the pros of using it. You get a credit score boost, you get qualified for new credit. It's just in qualifications for new assets. So if you're trying to get a new car or you're trying to get business funding or trying to get a personal loan, when those credit scores go up, you're able to obtain those assets. It can aid business credit odds versus the personal guarantees. So if you're trying to get business funding, the higher score that you have, they won't require you to have personal guarantees on that because your business will look more trustworthy because you have a higher score, you have something on your reports showing that you have some good payments going. And once they see that you have some good standing things there, they say, okay, well, we don't really need to require a personal guarantee there. So that's a pro for that as well. It improves credit history because once you have good trade lines on your credit report, with no missed payments, everything is on time, no bad remarks. Obviously, everyone knows that, the more of those that you see, the better your credit history is. It displays credit establishment for those who don't even have any credit. So if you have nothing listed on your report at all, getting those trade lines will show that you have something, and they can be anywhere from a year. They can be 6 years. It can be 13 years, however long the account has been open. Once they're placed on your credit report, it'll show that it's pretty like it has been on your credit for those many years, even when you're just starting. So that's another perk. And it earns credit positives without even having to personally qualify for those trade lines. So trying to get these loans and these credit cards on your own, you have to qualify for them. But through the Bureau Builder trade lines that we're offering, you don't have to qualify for them. You will still get them on your credit report. So it looks like you've been credit worthy without having to be credit worthy, if that makes sense. Any cons to that? We want to point out that customers may pick favorable trade lines. So sometimes there may not be spots open for that particular one, and you may have to wait until the next billing cycle, which is every 30 days. So it's also good to, to hop on that right away so that you get your spot for that, because it's in very high demand right now. You can plan your timing to qualify for what you need. So if you're trying to, say, get a mortgage for a new house, and we know that usually takes about 45 days or so, you want to do a pre-approval, depending on when you want to get started with that. You want to make sure you plan within that time, because you can have the trade line on your credit report between anywhere from 30 to 60 to 90 days, or if longer, that's something that we can work out too. So you want to make sure that every month, what would happen is your credit score is supposed to go up as long as you're taking care of everything else that's on your credit report. So you want to make sure you hit the numbers during the time that you need it. And that's something that we can help figure out with you if that seems a little confusing. So we assist with that as well. So like I just mentioned, you are still responsible for your credit behavior during this time that you use the trade lines. So we may be able to put the trade lines on your credit report, but whatever you have on there already that you've established personally, you still have to take care of those things. So if you have payments on other stuff that have nothing to do with the trade lines, you still have to make sure you keep those up, because if you don't, it'll affect your whole credit report. So you want to make sure you're on top of everything that you have going on still. Additional perks to that, you can purchase from the same trade line. You can purchase the same one more than one time. You can purchase more than one trade line. You can save money on package deals. So if you get one trade line as opposed to maybe 2 or 3, it's definitely cheaper for that. And as far as the trade lines, these are credit card trade lines. So you don't have to make any payments on them. Like the monthly payments you would pay for your own credit cards, you don't make any of those. You don't make any payments on those. That's something that is taken care of by the company already. They are paid, and they are paid on time, which is why they are good standing accounts. And we only put the good standing accounts on your credit report. It benefits from excellent payment history without having to pay out of pocket monthly. So you get the credit history, you get the good history without even having to make those payments on those accounts. So that's definitely an additional perk. And like we said, there's no minimal credit score to get one of these trade lines. No employment necessities, requirements. No income verification needed, nothing like that you would actually need as if you were trying to apply it on your own. So you don't need any of those things. Any questions there? Okay. So what do the trade lines look like? So for instance, we have, and I'm sure you've heard of plenty of these. We have a Primor Green Dot trade line. That's a Visa, and the credit limit there is $1,000. And that history has 7 years and 4 months, which actually would be updated now to should be about 8 years now. So the thing about the trade lines is, depending on what is hurting your credit report, it may be your debt to income ratio. You may have maxed out on all the credit cards that you have already on your credit report, so that you need to look like you have more credit on there to take your debt to income ratio down. So for instance, if you have $10,000 worth of credit card money and you spent 9,000 already, that means you have spent 90% of your credit, of available credit. That looks bad. So what you would probably want to do is get a credit line that has a lot of money on it. For instance, like the one at the bottom, the Capital One. So instead of having $10,000 worth of credit card access, if you added the Capital One, you'll have that 10,000 plus 21. So now it looks like you'll have 31,000 available credit on your credit report. And with that makes your credit usage go way down. And also another piece is, if the problem with your credit report is that you don't have a long history, or you have no history on your credit report, you may want to get one of the trade lines that have a long history, like the first one, the Green Dot, that's been open for 7-8 years. So that would be going from 0 months, you have no credit history. So now all of a sudden, within a matter of 30 days, you have 8 months worth of credit history. The credit history is definitely a big chunk of your credit score as well. Just like the credit limit and the credit usage, that's one of the biggest as well. So depending on what you need to make your credit score go up, we can help you work through that to see what options will work for you. And because the whole point of it is to help your credit score go up so that you can obtain whatever business funding or personal funding that you're looking for that you can't qualify for. So this is just one of the programs that you can use to help with that. And as far as Mark Rentals LLC, how do we help with that? As far as these accounts are concerned, we are the ones that are taking care of the accounts. We develop and nurture the accounts for about 4 to 8 years. So the payments, making sure they're in good standing and available to you guys to help your credit reports. We keep the accounts in good standing. We never miss any payments on them ever, which helps your credit history as well, and payment history, because that's what it'll look like that you're doing. It looks like you're paying it. The created accounts for both credit history and credit utilization needs. So depending on which one you need, or if you need both, you can feel free to get more than one. Credit utilization, we keep them anywhere between 10% and 30% under usage of the whole card. So if there was a limit of $1,000, we like to keep that under anywhere between $100 and $300 that's been used on it max. So we like to keep that low, because we all know credit utilization looks better the lower it is, and it makes your credit score go up as well. So if you've been having problems getting funding because of that, you want to take those credit cards and those loans that you already have out and kind of pay them down so that the usage doesn't look too high So that's another reason why people are getting denied. We would be continuing to do those on-time payments to aid those credit score increases. So every time that there is a payment, as you know, with your own credit, every time you make a payment and it's on time, your credit score goes up. That's what it's supposed to do, as long as everything else is intact. We do all the paperwork for you. We take care of all that. It's really not much. What we do is you let us know which trade line that you're looking to use, and we call the creditor and we have it put on your credit report, and that's it. You literally don't have to do any big time moving or big time calculations or anything like that. It's pretty much that simple. We just make that phone call for you and get that set up. So there's no hassle dealing with creditors or anything like that yourself. So to how to purchase, and we'll take a look at the chat to make sure that everyone's gotten the link. So if all of the programs that we mentioned today would be useful to you, we have individual links for the ones that would pertain to you. You can sign up with Journey Financing, which is free, just for the guidance and the membership there, and resources. You fill out the request link, which we also have on our website, but I'll give you the link directly. You can also give us a call directly and let us know what you need help with, and we'll work through the steps. You can send us an email regarding your credit and funding needs if you're looking for something specific or you have concerns about whatever it is. You can do that too. So pretty much you choose whatever trade line you want. You can choose more than one if you want. Let us know how long you need to keep that on your credit report so that you can get to the credit score that you need to qualify for whatever it is that you need. And that's pretty much it. Here is the contact information. If you have any questions, and let me go ahead and show you the chat with the links there so that you would be able to get those forms. Okay, can anyone see the messages so far here? No? Okay, so let me see if I can copy and paste those once again. Give me 1 second. I want to make sure everyone has it. Okay. Here is the contact info. Can you see that so far? Let me see.
I have not been able to see it.
Okay. Let me see here. Okay. Chat. Okay. All right. Give me a second. Maybe I can. I'm going to send this out. Maybe if I do that directly, let me know if you see anything pops up because I want to make sure everyone gets it.
Now we do.
You getting it now? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's the contact info so far, and now I'm gonna send the links to the different programs. So if you need assistance with those, you can pick which ones that would help you out the most, and let me know. Okay, let me know if you get these.
Yes, we have it now.
Okay, good. Gonna have to check my settings there. Glad you guys let me know.
Mhm.
Um, let me make sure.
So,
Oh,
uh, I have a question. So
sure.
for the funding request and the Bureau Builder request, is that strictly for real estate or does it apply to tech startups too?
So that is for any type of funding that you need. So the funding request, that's why it's general like that, because it could be for anything, depends on what you're looking for. Do you have any specific types of projects that you were looking for, or a business, or what, like for you, what would you be looking for?
Yeah. So, uh, I'm in the software as a service industry. I have an app called Unite. So I'm kind of looking for some funding pertaining to that.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely you can fill that out. They're very short. It'll ask you on there, and we'll contact you as well, and we'll walk through to see exactly what you need, how much you're looking for, what the situation is. If you kind of foresee any bumps in the road of where you may not qualify for something, we'll kind of just help you figure that out there. Um, and if it's something that we need to work on first to get you approved, then we take a look at that as well, because we know everyone has a hard time, and not
Yep.
everyone gets approved right away. So
So my problem is I'm 19. So I haven't built up much credit yet. I've only had my own credit card for like around like 4 or 5 months now.
mhm.
Um, so um, uh, I'm assuming I need a lot more transactions to get approved for a loan above $10,000. Um,
Okay. Yeah, so that's another thing too, especially for young folks that are just starting out. Like I mentioned before, if you have no credit, or if you have a whole bunch of credit and it's just really bad, it's just as bad. So that's why we try to figure out what would be the best thing for you. So that's why we look at everything on a situational basis. We take a look at what you have or what you don't have, what would make sense, what would work, and find out what is the goal that you're trying to reach, and see how can we get to at least that minimum point where you can get what you need. If
okay,
if yeah, so if it's something that we could uh get done for you right away and as quickly, that would be great. If some things are going to take time just because we have no way around that, we definitely let you know as well, because that's just how things go. We can't really just click our fingers and stick up a bank and make them give you money. You know what I mean? So sometimes it does take that initiative to kind of just work through that, especially when credit is.
right. Um, have you guys ever done any work with the SBA before, or like um, kind of like independent banks?
So for the SBA, that is something that people can go through individually. So we don't have per se a connection with them where we receive money from them to give to other people, because um, they do not allow that type of access. That's something that you would have to do individually. But as far as other banking institutions, and traditional banking like that, or like private money and hard money, or anything like that, we do have those outlets. Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, I'll make sure to sign up.
Yeah, that'd be great. So yeah, so if you guys have all the links there, let me make sure nothing else was missing. The so we have the Journey financing enrollment, outsourced transactional funding for those that do wholesaling and real estate, the Bureau Builder request. So if you're looking to up your numbers on your credit score, that's what that's for. If you have a general funding request, whether that's personal line of credit, a personal credit card, a personal loan, a business loan, um, startup um, business funding, things like that. You can use that funding request. And the Journey financing coaching participation, that's if anyone is, experienced in any of these areas or experienced with investing and you would like to share your information, for some folks. You can use that as well. Do we have any investors here, or anyone that does wholesaling? I see we
No, but
have.
I know a couple people that are getting into it,
Uh-huh.
so I can probably direct them to you.
Yeah. Yeah. I see we have a realtor on here.
I'm
Uh,
also a realtor.
oh, I see. Okay. Nice. Okay. So
I wear many hats.
oh, isn't it wonderful? That I know all about it.
Yep.
So yeah, and definitely, um, what we have here, I think if you send out a message, I think that definitely goes directly to me as
Yep.
well. So, if you send out any emails or phone numbers and you want me to
Okay. Yeah.
reach out with any information, that'll
Sure.
that'll go directly to me, so you don't have to
Yeah.
worry about.
Yeah. I copied all your information so
Okay.
I'll email you.
Alrighty.
Thank you
Did it?
so much for this.
Yeah, no problem. Did anyone else have any other questions about any of the programs or anything like that? No. All right. Sounds
Mm.
good. Well, I appreciate you guys tuning
Yeah.
in.
Thank you.
We've been having webinars all week. So if you see Marked Rentals LLC anywhere, I'm not sure if anyone who came from Facebook, who came from Meetup, who came from LinkedIn.
Came from Meetup. I seen you on Meetup.
Okay, Meetup. Did we have anybody from LinkedIn? We have a few. We have a few folks here. So we've got all the outlets all bunched in together today. So
Nice.
yep, and we have a webinar tomorrow. I believe that one's for the investors who are looking to do some purchases as well. We also had how to. What did we have? We had a meet up for wholesalers on Monday.
Oh,
That went
really? Okay.
Yeah, and we'll redo them as well because we didn't have enough room for everyone to fit into the room. So I think some folks got bumped out, and they're looking to
Oh,
reattend. Yeah, so we'll be putting up some more dates for that as well.
awesome.
Yeah,
Great. Awesome. This was great. How long have you been doing this for?
since 2016.
Oh, wow. Nice.
Yeah. So we actually survived the pandemic. I have no idea how.
Yeah, good for you.
Yeah, so we're still working at it, and we're developing along the way.
Great.
And,
Awesome.
yeah, so a lot of our programs are definitely pandemic related as well because we know some people are still hit with
Oh,
that.
yeah.
So we don't want to let that go just yet. So
Look forward to the next one. I
oh
mean,
yeah,
you're not the next pandemic.
oh
You.
no, unless they're giving out money again, maybe I'll think of
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. All
it.
right. Awesome. Well, thank you so much.
All right, so everyone, hold on to that contact information, and I can send out some more information when we have more webinars and things that may be useful as well.
Great.
All right, have a good night, guys.
You too. Thank you.
Bye.